E-DEY walk, men of honor, men of honor, men of honor. Good afternoon, gentlemen of men of honors. It's our time for the lecture this afternoon, the fourth day of this event. Two people are going to give us lectures today. The first person is Dr. Mrs. Osorochi Obi. The second person is Sir Bernard Onyoroka. And their topics are honorable men, honorable family, and great asset for greater nation. And while Sir Bernard Onyoroka, financial management as a pivotal to a successful businessman. So may I at this juncture call Dr. Mrs. Osorochi Obi to mount the altar to give us her lectures. As she come up, we'll give her a round of applause, please.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's give her a round of applause. As we step into the altar to give us lecture, this is our amiable professor, Dr. Pat Obi.
Our spiritual director, Reverend Father Dr. Magnus Ebere, SDV. I know you're hearing my voice from wherever you are. Good afternoon. The president of Men of Honor, Canaanland Adoration Ministries, and his team, the zonal leaders, the foot soldiers, all the men of honor here seated, and my honorable husband seated down there. Good afternoon. I am delighted today to be part of this Men of Honor International Fire Conference being organized for men of E-DEY work. E-DEY work, oh. E-DEY work, oh. It is possible, E-DEY work. I will not take it for granted that in the midst of highly qualified persons, you decided to choose me as one of those that will give you a lecture today. I remain grateful. It's a rare privilege. I appreciate this effort. You have given me a topic which I recaptioned, honorable man, honorable family, great nation, great world. The family is the bedrock of the society. I'm sure you will agree with me. It is the microcosm of the society. The man is the head of that family. You are the head of your family. It is divinely given to you by God. Nobody can take it away from you. Again, societies make up the nation. Nations make up the world. So in this discourse today, we are going to talk about who an honorable man is. We are also going to talk about what makes an honorable family, and also what makes a great nation and a great world. And in all, we are going to use biblical citations to buttress our point. So who is an honorable man? I said, being honorable means being a person of integrity, decency, trustworthiness, honesty. To be regarded as an honorable person, the person's public behavior and speech has to reflect the values associated with honor. An honorable man should show largeness of mind, largeness of soul, and largeness of heart, which he expresses in acts, especially giving to the poor and downtrodden, not giving to those that already have, which is most often what we do. An honorable man does not take advantage of the vulnerable people, the poor, the downtrodden. An honorable man is not selfish. He acts with integrity, faithfulness, a deep love for freedom, and honesty, which is daily expressed, which will impact positively on the society. The more there are honorable men, the more there are honorable families, and the greater the nation and the greater the world. So what are the qualities of an honorable man? Or what are the enduring values, enduring virtues of honorable men? I have listed them here. They are kindness, integrity, faithfulness, love, forgiveness, tolerance, steadfastness, honesty, thanksgiving. I said, kindness is a gift from the heart. Every act of kindness grows the spirit and strengthens the soul. You are only being kind when you give, not expecting a reward from the person given. Kindness is a universal language which the deaf can hear. He does not hear, but when you express, when you show him kindness or her kindness, he or she hears. It is also a language that the blind can see. Let us look at integrity, one of the virtues of an honorable man. And I say, integrity is righteousness, being honorable, truthful, blameless, graceful, upright, disciplined, faithful, and holy. That will give you integrity. Integrity is when a man walks in integrity and justice. And when he does that, happy are his children. Proverbs 28 verse 7. The next is faithfulness. Faithfulness means being full of faith, strong or firm in one's belief, loyal, constant in the performance of duties or services, true to one's work, reliable and dependable. Faithfulness. I chose faithfulness According to this man, Max Lulaga, he said, I chose faithfulness. Today I will keep my promises. My debtors will not regret their trust. My associates will not question my word. My wife will not question my love. My children will never fear that their father will not return home. That is faithfulness. Convert it to yourself. Today, you choose faithfulness. You will keep your promises. Your debtors will not regret having given you that trust. Your associates will not question your word, your integrity. Your wife will not question your love. And your children will never fear that their father will not come home today. That is faithfulness. Out of love. Love is patient, is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, not proud, not dishonor. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. That is love. One of the honorable attributes of an honorable man. Let us look at tolerance. Tolerance is given to every other human being every right that you claim for yourself. I know that all of you have your rights. As you have your rights, so also do other people. Where your right stops is where another person's own right starts. That is tolerance. What of steadfastness? Steadfastness. One of the attributes of an honorable man. Say, therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the Lord's work, because you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. What of honesty? Attributes of an honorable man. Honesty is being truthful to others, being truthful even to yourself, doing what is right, regardless of who is around. Even someone, that sense of trust, that is honesty. What of thanksgiving? One of the attributes of honorable men. According to Thessalonians 3 verse 8 says, give thanks, for this is God's way for us in Christ Jesus. Always, no matter the situation, give thanks. Even when things turn around the way we are not expecting it, give thanks. I want to give us some examples of honorable men in the Bible. Abraham, Moses, David, Daniel, Solomon, Joseph, Job, King Solomon. They are honorable men. What did they do? Abraham was our father in faith, still our father in faith. What of Moses? He was a man who struggled with failure. Even though he sometimes failed, he was consistently in tune with God's plan. He loved the people of Israel, who God called him to serve. He is an honorable man. What of David? David was a man after God's own heart. He knew that his strength came from God. He was a man full of thanksgiving to God. He knew how to lean on the Lord during times of joy and times of adversity. He trusted in God's unfailing mercies. What of Job? Job said, "In all things give thanks, because he knows his Redeemer liveth." He said, "I will wait until my change appears." How many of us are ready to wait until our change appears? His latter years became better than his former years because he waited. Are we ready to wait on the Lord? What of Daniel? Daniel was diligent and steadfast in the worship of God. While Daniel was put in the lion's den, he slept peacefully there. While his traitors were devoured by the lions. Are we ready to wait when that storm rages? That is what Daniel did. What of Joseph, an honorable man? The Bible reports that God was with him, but his honesty, his self-control, and self-respect endeared him more to God. He was the test of a character during the times of crisis that defined Joseph as a person of honor. He was able to withstand crisis. What of King Solomon? Thank you. I said, what of King Solomon, the wisest man on earth? Solomon, in spite of all the riches around, asked for wisdom, asked for understanding to govern his people, and it was given to him. The Bible says that God was pleased with Solomon's answer and promised him not only wisdom, as he had requested, but long life, riches, and honor. Are there dishonorable men in the Bible? Are there dishonorable men still around us? We can see Cain, Abel's brother. He was a dishonorable man. He went after riches, and because of that, he killed his brother Abel. What of Reuben? We all know what he did. What of Samson, who could not control himself? What of Ananias and Sapphira? These are dishonorable men in the Bible. And so, what constitutes an honorable family? What constitutes an honorable family? An honorable family is one where the honorable man, honorable men like you here seated, is the head of family, exhibits the virtues of kindness, integrity, faithfulness, love, forgiveness, tolerance, steadfastness, honesty, and thanksgiving, and passes this on to the children. God has bestowed the position of the family leader to the man unquestionably. Nobody can question it. It is divine. 1 Corinthians 11 verse 3 says, "But I want you to understand that the head of every man is Christ, The head of a woman is her husband. And the head of Christ is God. How does he use this position of leadership on the wife, the man, on the children, and on other members of the household? How does he use this divine bestowed authority? The greatest thing a father can do to his children is to respect the woman that gave birth to his children. It is because of her that you have the greatest treasures in your life. You may have moved on, but your children have not. Ephesians chapter 5, 25, verse 28 tells us, just as wives must submit to their husbands, husbands must love their wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. I want to ask us, this is an injunction from the Bible and invariably from God. Do we love our wives as our bodies? I think this kind of program is designed that we have everything about our lives. What is it that we have been doing in our lives that needs to be reshaped, that needs to be remodeled? Is it our love for our wives, for our children, for our nation, for our country, and for humanity? I want to tell us that God designed everything because he is omnipotent, omniscient. He knows everything. He designed that the man should be the head of the family, and it is right and just. He also designed also that the woman should be under the wife, the husband, and it is right also. How has us, men and women, been carrying out this? I want to tell us, our omnipotent God made no mistake when he put men in charge. They should be in charge, and they are in charge. The question is, how in charge are they? I want to tell us that some men have really relegated their responsibilities. And because of that, many things are falling apart. Let us take, for example, the wife who is the wife of the husband, who should honor her husband, respect him in all aspects, and the wife should honor him. But most importantly, some of these men have relegated their responsibilities. They no longer live up to this expectation. A man comes home, asks for his food. Immediately he gets it. He sits at the couch with his leg crossed, watching television. Of course, in the first instance, as soon as the doorbell rings and it is a man coming home, the children will start running helter-skelter in the house. Daddy is back, daddy is back, daddy is back. What does it show? This is a period of rethink. Nowadays, children are so obstinate that they challenge the activities of their parents including the father of the house. I think time is now ripe for us to re-examine what we do in the house and outside. I want to use this golden opportunity given to me by these men of honor seated here to talk to our fathers. This is the time to come home. The time is running past very fast. And we must have a rethink about our roles and responsibilities in the house. The house is not that of the woman and the children. The house is that of the father, the mother, and the children. And therefore, men should boldly take up their responsibilities to bring up these children in the fear of the Lord. It is right and just that they should go out seeking for food to be able to cater for the entire family. But what will be the use if you spend all the time getting all the money and the family is not there for you anymore? Many things are happening now, and they are happening from children from homes, our homes. Because most often, the dad is not psychologically present in the house. And when he is physically present, it looks as if he is also psychologically absent. And so, this is a wonderful opportunity created by our spiritual director, Reverend Father Dr. Magnus Ebere, for us to have a rethink about our roles and responsibilities in the house. We all appreciate the fact that our fathers go all out day and night looking for food to sustain us. But that is not all. The children need you at home. You should be there physically and psychologically present to cater for their physical and psychological needs. Time is running past, and there's nothing we can do except to work on our families. If you check what is happening in the environment now, it appears that the world seems to be coming to an end. And what do? We keep blaming each other. The father blaming the mother blaming the father. But that is all blames. At the end of the day, the children are running helter-skelter. The father is not physically and psychologically present. Neither is the mother. Be that as it may, how do we raise honorable families? I said, there must be commitment on the part of all of you. But you have to agree. If you do not agree with your wife, nothing goes well in the house. So there must be commitment on both of you. You must appreciate each other. Children of nowadays need appreciation the way fish in water needs water, without which none of them will survive. Again, communication. Spend time together with each other. There are clearly defined roles for each person. Each person has to do his or her responsibilities in the house. How do we raise honorable families? How do we raise honorable families? We must have a vision of the future and make plans to achieve it. Honorable family is not achieved in a day. The plan begins with the choice of a partner. Start from the onset to prepare for your future by preparing yourself. Get necessary knowledge and skills. You cannot give what you do not have. Believe in and encourage each other. Raising honorable children is not an easy task. It requires the commitment of both the husband and the wife. Remember that the children thrive in stability. There has to be calm environment at home. Talk to your children. Do not yell at them. We are fond of yelling at them. And that is why if you're in the midst of children now, they yell. Children of nowadays yell. Where did they learn it? Did they yell in the stomach? Did they yell in the womb? No. They learned it from us. So I say, never fight in the front of your children. Encourage them. There should be sibling harmony. Have private jokes with them. Be flexible. Communicate effectively with them. Raising honorable children is not easy, but it is not impossible. And so we say from Ephesians 6, chapter 6, verse 4, fathers, do not provoke their children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. Because if you train up the child in the way he should go, even when he is old, he will not depart from it. Educate the children. They are your greatest asset. I said, human capital are assets which include education, training, intelligence, skills, health, and others. Diligence, punctuality, frugality, industry. These are virtues the children should grow up with. Without developing these talents, the children will not thrive. Also, develop talents in agriculture, energy, extractive industries, construction, manufacturing, information and communication technology, and the rest. I said, human capital is the most important asset of any nation. When they are developed, they should be retained to reduce brain drain. Brain drain makes poorer nations poorer and richer nations richer. What makes a great nation? What makes a nation great? I said, great people make a great nation. To build a great nation, we must aim to raise great people, to raise honorable men who act with integrity, honesty, diligence, self-respect, and other virtues. What makes a nation great is not its heroes, but its households of honorable men and women, headed by honorable men. A nation's greatness is measured by how it treats the weakest members. Mahatma Gandhi. Godliness makes a nation great, but sin is a disgrace to any people. The qualities that make a nation great are nurtured and fostered in the family, where you are the head. They have freedom, justice, and fair play, selflessness, morality, care for the weak and downtrodden, truthfulness, value for the sacredness and sanctity of human life, diligence, among others. I want to present to you 3 types of people on earth today. It is very relevant. That is why I brought it up. According to the Greek philosophers, there are 3 types of people in the world today: the idiots, the tradesmen, and the citizens. I hope you do not take offense because I mentioned idiots. That is not exactly what it means, according to these Greek philosophers. For them, the idiots mean that they do not care. There are people that do not care. When they write exams, they will cheat. If they are in government, they will steal. If they are government officials, they will take bribe. If they are in positions of power and authority, they will abuse power. Make them custodians of anything. They will personalize it and convert it to their private use. If they are judges, they take bribe and pervert justice. If they are lecturers, they will extort students. If they are security personnel, they will kill the people they should protect. If they are policemen, they extort even from Okada riders. If they are traders, they shortchange customers. If they are teachers, they cheat students. If they are contractors, they inflate contract figures and do shabby work. If they are pastors, they declare false prophecy. If they eat banana, they throw away the peelings along the road. According to the Greeks, according to these Greeks, some societies have more idiots than tribesmen and citizens. The tribesmen, they say the tribesmen are people that look at everything from the point of view of their tribe or religion or political leaning. They believe in one only if that one is part of their tribe or religion or political leaning. Even when the person is behaving like an idiot. They view everything from the point of view of the tribe or religion or political leaning. According to the Greeks, it can be terrible to have a tribesman as a leader. He will alienate the rest or even exterminate them. What of the citizens? The last group are the citizens. They are people that like to do things the right way. I want you to pay attention because I know some of you are citizens here. Are you not? You are. They will respect traffic light, and even if no one is watching them, they drive within speed limits. They respect the laws. They will not cheat in exams. If they are in government, they will not steal government fund. If they are compassionate and they promote the well-being of others, not themselves. Citizens often promote projects that benefit everyone, not their own political leanings. According to the Greeks, according to these Greek philosophers, some countries have more citizens than tribesmen and idiots. Some countries have many more idiots. A tribesman can become a citizen through orientation. And an idiot can become a citizen by training and constant enforcement of the law. He needs the law, he needs the care. But things fall apart. Things fall apart. Things fall apart. If you elect an idiot or a tribesman to lead you, the big question is, where do you belong? Where do you belong? Are you an idiot? I'm not being arrogant. Are you a tribesman or are you a citizen? From the description above, you already know where you belong. Where we want you to belong is to be a citizen. Conclusion. Today's society is populated by people whose loyalty to self and to the tribe or religion or political leaning overrides their sense of citizenship. This is why raising honorable men is very important. If we want great nations, we must raise honorable men who will raise honorable families for great nations and a great world. To be honorable, one must eschew gossip, greed, envy, bitterness, jealousy, hypercriticism, flattery, false praise. The list is endless. Being honorable is important in our relationships in the family, in dealings with the opposite sex, in business dealings, in public offices, and even in politics. According to this woman, Maria Robinson, she said, nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. Tabo, you can start today and make a positive ending. For this very reason, make every effort to supplement your faith with virtue, and virtue with knowledge, and knowledge with self-control, and self-control with steadfastness, and steadfastness with godliness, and godliness with brotherly affection, and brotherly affection with love. For if these qualities are yours and are increasing in you, they keep you from being ineffective and unfruitful Second Peter 1, 5 to 8. Again, say therefore, an overseer, which is what you are, must be above reproach. You are overseers in your homes. You must be above reproach. The husband of one wife, that's what you should be. Sober-minded, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not a drunkard, not violent but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. You must manage your own household well, with all dignity, keeping his children submissive. For if someone does not know how to manage his own household, how will he care for God's people? 1 Timothy 3, 2 to 7. Finally, my brothers, he has stated, whatever that is true, whatever that is honorable, whatever that is just, whatever that is pure, whatever that is lovely, whatever that is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about them. That is what should guide you. More than that, brothers here seated, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. Romans 5, 3 to 5. Honorable men here seated, remain honorable as you make your families honorable. Thank you very much.
Thank you, 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 Dr. Mrs. Otsorochi Obi. Please hold on, ma, hold on, ma, hold on, ma. Thank you, Dr. Mrs. Otsorochi Obi, for this well-articulated lecture. On behalf of all men here, I sincerely appreciate, we sincerely appreciate it, sorry. Please, we don't have time, we don't have much time. Because of other things we have at hand and 2 other lectures coming later. So we'll call up upon 3 people, just 3. If you have any question, just 3 people, so that we'll conclude this part and enter the next part. Thank you.
Yes, come up.
Thank you. Doc, please, ajụjụ mbụ na-ekwu n'Igbo. Anyị bụ ndị Catholic. Anyị na-asụta na nwatakịrị from block rosary zụgide nwatakịrị ọ gụchaa 6 immediately kwụkwarala ya na mahadum ka ọ na-alọta first term, second, ya change ya. Ụfọdụ ebere memisi fry ejumazie nwa m gịnị mere ka ya sọ ndị agba ochie ọ bụ na mma ekwu adịghị nkọ ka ọwụ isi erughị eru
Ọ bụ ọkpa isi amaghị akpa.
ọkpa isi amaghị akpa. Thank you very much.
Okay. Noted. I think I have to take all the questions together, or I should answer that one.
No, wait. Another person.
Good afternoon, madam. My name is Ifeanyi Okeke from the Zone. Actually, I actually want to lay emphasis to some of the qualities you actually enumerated. You enumerated a lot of qualities that can be ascribed to an honorable person. But there is, my issue is, we have one biblical example, King David. I want to say, despite the fact that one might be very good in many qualities, but actually the fault's in one. Like David's issue of his adultery with Uriah's wife. But despite that particular fault, he still stood out among the kings of Israel. And another one is, what quality actually can one actually possess that can actually excel and stand out, despite that it might have some shortcomings in others? Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Next.
The work, my own, I will start with a request. I am Kenny Simachuku from Mbise Zone. My request is the material which you have used, I will beg that you produce it so that we can handle it, use it at our own time, as to drive what you have taught us home. And we have to chew it, imbibe it, use it, and put it to effective usage. One. Two, please, in a situation like I have rightly said, no single person can possess the whole qualities. In a real life situation, what can we do? Since, for example, I've cited example with Abraham, Solomon, Joseph, and so on and so forth. Different individuals with different qualities, which made them what they are. And thirdly, in a situation where a father is not allowed or permitted to superhead as the head of the family, what will that man do? Thank you very much.
Thank you for your question. Doc?
Thank you. Thank you. The first person asked David, with all the things he did, still is being mentioned today as an honorable man. God looks at the heart. What did I say? God looks at the heart. The heart of David is filled with God's love. Everything David did was full of love for God. And actually, that is what God wants from us. Despite his shortcomings, despite his adulterous life, he still had the sterling qualities which God wanted and which God used, and for which his name is being mentioned from today till forever. And that was why even it was through him that we have our Lord Jesus Christ. It was through the lineage of David. God repaid him for what he did. God looks at the heart, not at the other aspects of life. And that should teach us a lesson. Despite all you think you have done in life, if you truly repent and sincerely confess that those things were done out of lack of knowledge of what God wants, he will love you as if you have done nothing. I think I have answered your question. David, despite his adulterous life, lived a life of gratitude to God. He spent all his life thanking God, appreciating God for what he has done. And that was why, till today, his lineage is being remembered and will be remembered forever and ever. Wachuku said, Wachuku asked, God's love is available in abundance, anytime, any day. And we make this paper available to the officers, to your men of honor. So you can access it through, yes, my brother. Then, he said, there was something he said, that the head has fallen away from the man. Is it possible? Not at all, and it will never. What did I say? I say not at all, and it will never. There is nobody that can thwart God's plan. You can make it probably stall it for few times, but you can never stop it. So the men are still the head, and we remain the head forever and ever. What is important is, as the head, what did you do with that headship? What did you do with that headship? What did you do with your co-partner in that family? That is your wife. And what did you do with the children God has given you, whom he said you should? See, the children have all gone astray. We went astray before them. There is no child that will do what he did not see the elders doing. No child is born bad or evil. The evil they do, the bad things they do, they learn from us. So return, keep doing the right thing, especially before them. Even without their seeing you, they perceive what you do. So, return and they will return. Make sure you fulfill your responsibilities in the house, and they will look up to you as their role models, which you are. I think I've answered that question. I will make available to you a copy of my work. I will give it to Reginald, Mr. Reginald, so that you make it available to those who want. If you also want me to send it to your email, give him your email. You send it to me, and I will forward it to your email. Thank you very much, and remain blessed. Honorable
Let
men.
us give her a round of applause. She's impeccable. She has given us what she has. Let us give her a round of applause. Let us continue giving her a round of applause. Yes, this is spiritual and physical food. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Pat Osarachi. Thank you. Hello? Yes. The next lecture, Financial Management as a Pivot to a Successful Business. So we are calling our brother, a lecturer, by Sir Bernard Onyiroka. Please let us give him a round of applause. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Sir Onyiroka.
Men of honor, men of honor. If you are a man of honor, raise your hand. Do something to God. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Sir Bernard Nyanacho Onyiroka. By the grace of God, I am a development finance professional. I am not a motivational speaker. We offer solutions to problems. So what I'm going to do today, by the special grace of God, is to open your eyes, listen, so that you will start from today to do things very differently. Let me quickly appreciate the star-studded organizing committee, ably led by Sir Reginald Odunze. So far, to my humble mind, they have done wonderfully well. Let me thank the mouthpiece of God, the soul of the Creator, the Almighty God. I stand here, my prophet, with a very sincere heart to say, may God continue to increase your anointing so that you will continually frustrate the kingdom of Satan. Because you have actually, the truth, you have actually touched our lives. If there's nobody you have touched his life, you have touched my life. You have touched my life. And I want to say here, standing, now this altar, that without your seal of approval, I won't stand there. And I say, may God increase your life so that you will continually change people. You will continually give joy to the downtrodden. In the name of Jesus Christ. Now I am called to not lecture, to X-ray this topic, financial management as a pivot to successful business. Now, first of all, let's dissect this long drama. If we dissect it, we will piece them together so that it will make meaning to all of us. What is finance? What is finance? Finance is essentially money. They call it finance when corporate entities, corporate organizations, state governments, federal government wants to move that money in large quantity. That is the time they call it finance. But ordinary finance is money. Now, what is money itself? What is money? We'll agree that finance is essentially money. Then what is money? Money simply is a medium of exchange. A medium of exchange. What confers it that authority to be a medium of exchange is the legal seal on it. The legal seal that makes it have a value. That is why they say the money is a store of value. Without that legal seal and without having that power of being a store of value, it cannot be used for any legal business. Look at that money you are holding now. Go and look at the signatory. Look at the signatory. There's a signatory on it. That signatory is a seal of authority. Now, can you manage what you don't have? Can you manage what you don't have? You must have something before you know how to manage it. So if you don't have money, you cannot manage money now. Isn't that correct? If you don't have money, you cannot manage money. So the first thing we are going to do is to look at how to make money. How to make money. That's what we're going to look at now. Now, essentially, there are two defined ways of making money. Two distinct ways of making money. It is either that you are an employer or you are an employee. What do I mean by that? Anybody who is providing employment by himself through his own skill, through his own initiative, through his own finance, is somebody who is employing somebody. The people that work with him, the people that are salaried under his employment are employees. So that money he pays them is the only way they can make money. That money the man pays them is the only way you can make money. You can also be employed through state government, federal government, through some agencies, through other organizations. Those are formal employees. Formal employees. Those people that employ people by their own skill, by their own talent, by their own initiative. They are self-employers. They are self-providers of employment. The way they get their money is through the services rendered by their employees. Are we together? So, two major ways. The man who is in the private business providing employment makes his own money via the services of those he employed. Those ones that are employed by government or at any level are paid by the same government. These are the two distinct ways you can make money. But let me tell you today, if you are not making passive income, you are not there. That's why I said we will begin to do things in a different way. Look at that phone you are handling. Look at this phone you are handling. What do you do with it? What do you do with it? Sometimes you go and buy data. You buy data, 1,000 naira, and go to useless sites and waste the 1,000, waste your time achieving nothing. You have lost spiritually, you have lost morally, you have also lost financially. This phone is the whole world. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Choose the one you want to. So today, if you buy data and you are not using it for a meaningful purpose, today, the opportunity is there that you change your way, change your style. What am I saying? These phones, as long as they are internet compliant, you make money using this phone. Somebody will ask me how. Now listen. Some people are designers. On everything you are doing today is online. Let me tell you something today. Go and mark it. In the next decade, some professionals will go extinct because of the insurgents coming from online businesses. Online businesses. This man who is a fashion designer. Fashion designer. You are still there at your shop waiting for people to go and buy cloth and come and stand before you. You use your tape and measure. How many persons will come to your shop? Today, designers are online. Look at what I'm wearing. I saw this thing in the internet. And there are people who provide senator styles only. Google senator styles. Google your phone now. Senator style. You see them, more than 10 of them, pushing it into the social media. Pushing it into social media. And social media covers hundreds and millions of people. If you create that traffic, the moment you come in there, in your phone, money goes to them. The moment, that's what they call traffic flow. They have agreed with their bloggers. The moment you come in there and use your palm The stars will come. They charge you. And the man who put this thing in the social media is making his money. Now, even if it is one naira, one naira, and 100 persons visit that site today, can you translate how much that is? Compare it. Of course, there is no basis for comparison with the same designer who has a shop, who is stationary, waiting for physical contact before he sews cloth for somebody. So today, if you are in the fashion world and you are creative, go and see how you can establish your website. The moment one person comes, bam, and that person comes, bam, and that person comes, bam, business don't start. Provided you are what? Creative. That somebody will see it and say, look, my tailor. I have a friend there. When we go to tailor, I go with my phone. I say, look at what I want, look at what I want, look at what I want. He doesn't have it. He will do that. He will snap it. So the man who is providing this creativity is sitting somewhere. He can even be here and be receiving his money. No hassles, no shaking. And tomorrow, if you see the man building 1-2 stories, they should not know go. Some persons are genuinely making their money silently, and still behaving very ordinary. Those who publish books, if you are a publisher, I want to charge Professor Eze, my friend. I've been talking to him. Write your book. Write your book. There are bloggers in your school. They are students, but they are multimillionaires. There are bloggers in your school. Meet them. Let them create a website for you. Write your books. They call it soft copies. Soft copies. They will go there. The moment somebody comes and say, I want a book on so place, he clicks on the phone. Bam! Their works will appear. And they will start showing interest. There's a program they ran sometime. They said, let us look at hard copies and soft copies. Which one do you prefer? Some persons opted for hard copies. Others say, look, we want soft copies. But they say soft copies don't last. That is not true. That is because you still have limited knowledge in ICT. If you have some reasonable knowledge in ICT, there's what they call cloud. Cloud. Any picture you have, any material you want to save, if you save it in cloud, nothing will happen to it. Several years to come, if you click it, it will still appear fresh. Cloud. What of property? Some of us are still into land speculation, physically, land speculation. I want to sell this property. You say, what is your phone number? You call the person. You are still, well, that is the stage you are, but you can do better. Property speculators now, those who understand the realms of property development and vendoring, don't do that kind of thing again. If you are also compliant to services rendered by some of the sites, all the international housing estates, world-class estates, Banana Island, for those of you who know Lagos. You know, Lekki is almost dying now. I don't know how many of you know Lagos very well. Lekki phase 1 and 2 is almost dying now because of springing up of world-class estates with everything complete. You may not move from here to buy. They go to internet and advertise their product. If you want to buy, they say, look at this, look at that, look at the price. You pay them. They say, do you want builders? You say yes. They say they will provide everything online. And some of them, if you open them, the ones that started 3 months ago, if you look at the stage of development, you will know that there are heavy traffic along those lines. That is, people are really making effective use of what social media has provided for us. So if you are there, I want to suggest to you, find a way to look out for bloggers. Let them create a site for you. If there are properties you want to sell in Owerri, just go there and advertise it. The man who will buy it may be in London, may even be in Afghanistan. The man will be there and transact a business with you. You don't have physical contacts. He will ask you details of your bank account. Bam, you pay, you get a lot. What I'm telling you now, I don't say you should believe me, but this is what is happening now. Affiliate marketing. Those who do online business. Remember, what I'm talking about is how to make money. That's what I'm saying, how to make money. So if you understand the way we are going now, we will land together safely. Jumia. You know Jumia? How many of you are dealing with Jumia now? Jumia. Yes. If you want to do online marketing, they go to Jumia. Now, there are up to 10 of them now. When Jumia started, people were seeing it as a funny thing. Jumia doesn't have a company of its own. What Jumia does is you ask for your products, they will go to the company, add money, because they're rendering service to you. Whatever you buy in Jumia is of quality, but it may be costlier than what you are going to buy here. Why? You will be in your house, order for it, they will send it to you. But before they send it, they will make sure that there is money in your account. So, no joking. And Jumia now is becoming a world-class affiliate marketing company. How? Through this provision. When Obasanjo tried to liberalize, SIM cards and all that, those of you who can have a reflect, we know that about 15, 20 years ago, if you have a phone, you are a lord. And what we have that time is what they call Motorola. It is very, very expensive. Not to talk of SIM card. But now, you see, SIM card now, as you are moving along the road, the hawkers will be meeting you. Buy SIM card, 100 naira, they register you. Except that now that they're having some wayo in it, government now said, before you must register, go to the office of the service provider. And that is good enough. That is good enough. But that is the kind of revolution that is coming via online. You can also become a visual tutor. If you are good in lecturing, prepare lectures, go to social media or your site, place it. Those who are interested will come there. If they have assignments, they come to your site and look at your lecture. Some of them will even use it to write a thesis. Because these days, most lecturers don't read books again. That's the truth. So a wise student will take advantage of the social media. Go to books, e-books, e-learning. Click it, everything will appear. You make your choice. And the man whose lecture you have chosen will be there smiling. Now the greatest revolution. The greatest revolution. And I urge you, my prophet, by the special grace of God, if there is truth in what I'm going to say, you will encourage this honorable man to join. The blockchain. How many of you heard about blockchain? Blockchain. The blockchain technology is driving the whole world mad. The revolution is, you can't imagine it. The blockchain technology has the highest bank today in the whole world. Blockchain. What did they do? They provide what you call cryptocurrencies. Crypto what? Currencies. Some time ago, this government tried to, is it blacklist now? I don't know what they call it. They wanted to block the use of blockchain. I mean, use of cryptocurrency. Did they succeed? Blockchain technology cannot be restricted. It cannot be confiscated. Nobody can stop it. It works by what they call cryptography. And cryptography is the secret study of codes. If you don't know that code, you cannot stop it. Even in your own chain, in your own phone, there are times you want to do a business, they say provide your code. If you cannot provide your code, either your password or your email address, you cannot go anywhere. That, yes, it is your own. But the people who are controlling it say, until you prove beyond reasonable doubt that this account is your own, we cannot allow you entry. True or false? Have you experienced it? That is to show you that this thing cannot be restricted. It cannot be confiscated. Now, let me give you in numbers. Let me give you in numbers what is happening in the blockchain technology. The market capitalization of blockchain today, as I'm speaking with you, is $730.97 billion in blockchain only. The next bank that is coming close to it is the Bank of U.S. Morgan. Let's try to be a little bit updating ourselves. Because when you get this information, it makes you to leave that environment and see where you can put your next leg. It is only when you get this information that you tell yourself that, look, I need to do something more. When Bitcoin started, about 10 years ago, Bitcoin was less than 1 cent. Bitcoin was 0.001 cent Bitcoin. Those people that bought that Bitcoin 10 years ago, 1 Bitcoin now is 21 million naira. One. What I'm telling you, I'm not telling you a story. I say I'm not a motivational speaker. I tell you what is. Go and look at it. 1 Bitcoin now, is more than 21 million naira. Those who bought it 10 years ago, they bought it for 0.001. You can do it. There are a lot of those crypto now, a lot of them selling at something less than even that. One, Africa has started their own. They call it Samzuga. Zuga coin. It is now selling at less than that. And if you believe in future investment, that is there for you, that can never fail. Even if it fails, it cannot fail to the point that you are not also above the float. If you buy it now, those who buy this coin, I'm telling you now, truly, at that point, today, Samzuga of Africa is now 0.9. Just 1 month ago. 1 month ago, they bought it at 0.001. Today, it is now 0.9. Check here. If you bought it that time, we say 500,000 because a lot of us here can afford it. If you buy it even now at that amount of money, check what will happen if it comes to $1. Just another $1. Let me also tell you, if you go and keep money, I'm a development finance man, but I will tell you the truth here in the house of God. Don't go to keep your money in the bank. Oh. If you put 40 million, for instance, in that bank, the value has gone down by 40%. If you bring it out now, like we said in that definition, that money is a store of value. So, if you bring 1 naira now, it's like you're carrying paper. It has no value. It has no value. So, don't go posting that you have 20 million. You want to 5 million by way of value. But by nomenclature, yes, but if you take it to the marketplace, of what value will it give to you? These are the way you make investment decisions. Now, more than 60% of Nigerians are living below poverty line. And by UN's approximation, they said those who cannot spend up to 380 naira a day are poor. So, if you cannot spend 380 naira a day, you are a poor man. But what can happen? You can also begin to do something differently. If, for instance, you have $1,000 in the Bitcoin, the blockchain, as your Naira today, by the dollar, the US dollar is lower than the euro. You know that? The parallel market for dollar, that is the parallel market, the black market, is 540 naira. $540 naira. That is the level your money has gone down. So if you have that, this man that did his business 3 months ago, and he now has $1,000, is far, far, far better than you. Far, far. Because as your own is going down, his own is coming up. If you have that in your wallet, what do? You push it to your bank. And if you want to sell it, it will sell at the what we call the PV, present value of that money. I don't want to go into semantics, but I just want to offer these salient points so that we can begin to think whether we can do things differently. If you want to start doing things differently, we will provide professionals for you from everywhere, 4 or 5 different platforms that can teach you, so for you to have those decisions. If you organize it and call, I will just bring them. Because if you have, this man have, all of us will be singing. These people, they say in a Pentecost that they are gone, they are far ahead. I'm telling you, they are far, far ahead. Because they are at abreast with technology. What happens? The pastor will bring it to them. There's one that is going on now in Abia State. They call it golden something something. Those who are there now will soon smile. It is, the person that brought it is a pastor and gave it to his people. How do we manage money? How do you manage money? To effectively manage money, you must set out your goals. You must set out your goals. I have 1,000 naira. What do I want to do with it? In investment, I will write it down, one after the other. If you write them down religiously and sincerely and follow them, they will guide you. They will guide you. So that when that money comes, you don't go and see the man who is drinking beer, you are passing. You say, Obuefi. Obuefi, neighbor. That's up, bam. The moment you join there, that money go down, Acute. That money. You go home, temporarily happy. By the time you unload yourself, establish now, properly track and record your expenses. Consider lean budget. Lean budget. Do what you can do. Exercise financial prudence when you are managing your money. You must be disciplined and say, look, these are my do's and my don'ts. Ego, igenye yugu, genye he gugu, yaba ayeme gene yabalaga. Ego mwene nsopro, and he looks at you and look at your content. If he comes, he will respect you because in a you. Me kwanyere gugu yaba papa yabafu. Now, how to manage your business successfully? Keep personal and business account separately. Separate Paul from Barnabas. This is my own personal money. This is my business money. Separate them. Create accounts for them so that you don't go out of frivolity. Gamanyaka nego company. Emanyaka nego company. You have started dealing with your capital. And the moment your capital reduces, your business is coming down. Ensure that your books are properly kept. Now, work with tax professionals. There are rebates government provide rebates. There are companies that you will establish. By law, government has given them what they call tax holidays. They may operate for 5 years without asking for tax. It is only a tax professional that can give you that information. If you don't have it, you will sheepishly go and be paying tax. And when you go there, or when they give you a demand notice, if you go there, they'll collect the money from you. But a tax professional will tell you that this business you are doing, by law, has 5 years rebate. If you go there and tell them, they'll say, okay, you go. So knowledge is power. It is not working hardly, but working smartly and strategically. Knowing what to do and how to do it. Financial success is about balance, perspective, knowledge, value, how you define what is most important to your happiness. To successfully implement these highlights above, diligence is required. And diligence means investing your time, your energy, and your resources in the pursuit of a given task. Proverbs 14:23 says in paraphrasing, in all labor there is a profit. Where there is laziness, life will be difficult. Ecclesiastes 10:18 says, living without working is dying without knowing. Success without due process leads to calamity, destruction, and failure. Success is not a destination, it is a journey. God does not bless you, He blesses what is in your hand. What are you doing? What are you doing? That is what God will bless. It does not matter how small what you are doing is. What matters is that success comes little by little. Ogodi 1 naira, let it be steady. It is better than the man who will get 10 naira today, and tomorrow, next tomorrow, in the next 1 month, but if you are coming little by little, that is sustainability. That is success in business. Now, how many of us know that this football, our prophet even established here, is a business? Eh? You're not sounding optimistic. It's a business. It's a business. There are destinies that are tied in the success of that football. Just imagine what will happen if these boys are now, forms a team. And not even by luck, by divine intervention, 1, 2, 3 of them will have international connection. Do you see the kind of revolution that will happen in the lives of that boy or those boys and their families? And they work too. And they work. So my president, you have a responsibility. You want a responsibility, and that is what I keep saying. You want a responsibility to make sure that all hands are on. Because you want a problem. So you must work effectively to ensure that this football club is successful because of the destinies and lives of those that are tied to it. And if you succeed in making sure that these boys are gainfully employed, your name is written in the sands of time. Now, can we rise up? Can you go The principal, or the president of E-DEY will Sir Igwilo, Chief, in fact, let me call Chief Sir Igwilo. The owner of E-DEY Football Club is Reverend Father Dr. Magnus Ebere. Football Club. They have only appointed you to run the affairs of this football. Now, if you believe in it, pray. I just give you 30 seconds. Pray for this man. Pray for our prophet. 30 minutes. Whatever you want God to do for him, pray. 30 seconds. We pray in the name of Jesus Christ. Now listen. Whatever you have prayed for him, so shall it be to you. In the name of Jesus. Thank you. I may not have. Please, can we sit down? Thank you very much. God bless you all. For want of time, Kambubria here. But let me say that I may not have, provided details of or done justice to this topic. But I am sure, I'm very convinced that I have made an insight. I provided an insight. Follow that road. That is the journey to your own success. In the name of Jesus Christ.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Sir Ben Onyoroka, for this detailed lecture. Excuse me, sir. You have done what you know how best to do. We thank you for that. Please, because of the importance of his lectures, after your position in God, the next position is your position in finances as a man of honors, the head of the families. So we'll give 5 chances to ask questions in this regard. Thank you.
Hello, come up. One from this side.
Otodu Jeso, I am Ike Wachuku. My question goes like this. Please, the lecturer, kindly throw more light on the parameters, the criteria, and the yardsticks behind the rise and fall of these foreign monies in the international market or forest.
Let me quickly do that.
Hello, sir. Please.
I don't have writing
Record.
material.
Later you give them the response.
E-DEY work. Yes, Mr. Lecturer, my name's Engineer Mbako Anthony from Nobi, Anambra State. Sir, you talked about the blockchain technology and the production of cryptocurrency, which you said is coming up and is going to sweep the entire generation within a short while. I know that there is a fluctuation in that market, and the predictability of the flow of that market is giving people a lot of stress. Is there any formula one can use to determine the flow of the rise and fall of that currency, so that dealers in that currency can be able to positively get what they're supposed to get from there without getting lost on it? Thank you very much.
Next.
Which Abbas by them? Because you have spoken enough. The area is mainly very technical. And how do you have these men of honor here? Because to some extent, I eat the last month. I owe him some money. But I mean, need further exhaustive. A low the men of honor here for this word creation. You have gone too far, but how do we help most of us here? Because, like you said, owner age here, busy here, CG here, poverty will go. How do you help?
Next.
Men of honor, E-DEY work. Yes, please, sir. Thank you very much, sir. My name is Okafo John Emeka from Nobi, precisely. My question is this. You taught us about a kind of internet business. Sorry? Internet business, okay? You know, most of the times in this internet business, many people have been complaining of hacking the accounts in that business. So please, sir, can you help us tell us how we are going to be secured in that area? Thank you, sir.
He's writing something. Okay, sir, thank you for your lecture. My name is Uzere Leonard Ugochukwu. I said, thank you very much for your lecture. My name is Uzere Leonard Ugochukwu from Obo, precisely. Where? Obo.
Your name, please.
My name is Uzere Leonard Ugochukwu. So I'm from Obo. So my question is that the youth or the champion of this ministry have a lot of talents. And some of these talents are worldly needed. How can, because your lecture relates to finance and money. And I think that 70% of what is holding them from drama, music, and other very diverse talent is investment in them. How can you, in particular, help the youth or the champions so that those talents cannot be wasted? Thank you.
Hello. Men of honors. Men of honors. Please, everybody is talking about this internet money, where you relax in your money and money will be flowing in. I thought somebody would have asked of this real estate thing he just talked about. At least one person should stand up and ask about this real estate thing. Thank you. It's another way of making money quietly without you knowing. Did you ask that? So, Sir Ben Onyinoka, my name remains Nze Samson Iwago. Please, in that real estate thing, how can one start that real estate business? Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't get the name of the person, the first person that asked this question. Insight to rise and fall in value of Naira. Do we know what we call GDP? GDP. Gross domestic product. The value of your currency is synonymous to your GDP. If you don't have products that have international demand and value, your local currency will continue to bow to the stronger ones. Summarily, it's a function of GDP. What are you producing? What are you marketing? There is hunger here now. Abi, you know? There is hunger here. One cup of garri, how much is it? No. If you have quality palm oil today, what you buy in the market is not quality palm oil. That is the truth. One bottle of quality oil goes for nothing less than between 3,000 and 5,000. One. If you doubt it, go to ShopRite. Some wise people, entrepreneurs now, who are in palm oil production, are now, producing palm oil that have international standard, that have what they call shelf life. Because if your oil does not have shelf life, it cannot be stored. Somebody comes to buy oil, it is what glucent. If you shake it, you see it moving up and down. It is still fine. Not when you come and see your palm oil, it has no shelf life. And the reason is the glycerin content of the oil. That is it. There is no story. There is no grammar in it. It is simply a function of a GDP. There's a fluctuation in cryptocurrency. Let me tell you, I am not a professional in the crypto world. I am not. But I buy into, I do business with them. And I've subjected myself to tutorial by those who are professionals. There are professionals. I said earlier, if you want them, organize yourselves in your zone. I will make contacts for you. They will come to your zone and teach you. And teach you. So that you will take decision, not me taking decision for you. Am I clear on that? Organize yourself in your zones, in your state. Just let me know that these people are ready. We will send 5 different professionals that have different areas. Forex trading only goes for more than 100 billion US dollars every day. Every day. The Bitcoin go business in the Bitcoin blockchain technology is more than $7 trillion every day. Who are doing those business? Now, human beings get that money now. That the people who don't see far. So you cannot see. Life itself is a risk. Life is a risk. And those who are risk lovers are those who make success. If you are there counting, if I put it, will it succeed? Will I not succeed? You will be there. Somebody is flying. Truth. How do we help men of honor? I've said so now. I've said so. It is now. If you want help, it is yourself will tell yourself, God cannot save you without you. So you will tell yourself, I want to be helped. Somebody need a helping hand. Champions. I said in Moa here, Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, there are those boys who are there, they are bloggers. What they do is blogging. What is blogging? They will look at your skill. Dance, you can dance. You have the skill. You have the talent. They create blog for you, a website for you, and say, you tell them, I can offer this skill. They market you. About 3 of those boys now, if you go to internet, say, give me the list of, that's what I'm telling you about knowledge of the internet world. Just go there, go to Google and say, I want the list of bloggers in Nigeria. So it is you that you will go and say, I'm interested. They will train you and provide services for you. You're running a risk. I subjected myself to learning, and I do it every day. I am telling you, I like knowledge a lot. I do it every day. Even when I'm sitting, if I have any space now, you see me sitting somewhere, I'm working on something. That's the truth. Not that I have arrived, oh, no, don't misunderstand me, oh. I am doing my own little by little. Real estate. The same thing we are talking about. If you use your phone now and say, I need real estates in Lagos, potential real estates in Lagos, they will give you options. From the option, you will choose and look at what you can do or the services you want them to render to you. There's a boy that sells dry fish here. Dry fish. I called him and said, look, I bought him this thing once too. I said, look, you can do better. If you go to the internet now, there are Dry Fish Sellers Group. Dry Fish Sellers Group. Then on what do you call it, fish pond. There are groups for those who are into fish pond. They teach you what you don't know. Any question you ask them there, in the next 10 minutes, they'll answer you. That is knowledge. That's why I'm saying it is not about working, mechanical thing. No, it's about putting strategies smartly to help yourself. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you, Sir Ben Onyonoka, for this lecture. For those of you that does not know him, he's the manager of Bank of Agriculture, Aba. Thank you. We'll call you back when next the need arises. At this juncture, we'll call Dr. Kelechi Muforo for your own lectures, please. Thank you.
Hello, please give me a round of applause. Where is him? Dr. Kelechi Moforo. Okay, give me a round of applause. You're welcome. You're welcome.
In the work, it is possible. I thank my spiritual director, even though he's not here in present, for the honor to be enlisted as one of the co-speakers in this Men of Honor conference. I thank the organizers of this program. Thank you very much. I am highly thrilled to be amongst the guest speakers precisely on the topic that is titled Prostate Enlargements and its Complications amongst men. Prostate enlargement and its complications have become a major serious health challenge amongst men in the 21st century. Well, before we proceed further, I would want us to really understand what this prostate is all about. The definition, what does it do in the body, where is it located, how it gets enlarged, the symptoms and complications that result from its enlargement. Prostate enlargement, like we call it medically benign prostate hyperplasia. It's more or less a medical term used to describe an enlarged prostate. This condition affects the way you urinate. Prostate is an essential gland in the male reproductive system. Where is it located? Anatomically, the location is very, very important because of its pathologies. This wall-shaped musculoglandular organ is located below the urinary bladder in front of the rectum and precisely surrounding the urethra. What is the urethra? Urethra is more or less a urinary tube that empties urine from the bladder to the outmost part of the body. This prostate, what does it really do? Being a male organ, it secretes what we call the ejaculatory fluid or the seminal fluid. It secretes and stores it. And this seminal fluid plays a major role in fertility. That is a major thing. This prostate, how does it really get enlarged? Some school of thought believes that the cause of the enlargement is unknown, while some believed that the cause of enlargement is likened to the hormonal changes that associates with aging. Medically, we were taught that when a man keeps advancing in age from the 50 years precisely and above, the level of testosterone begins to do what? To come down. And that of estrogen, even though it's a female hormone, but it's still found in the male organs, increases. So this decrease in testosterone that is associated with aging, an increase in estrogen comes about this enlargement. This is the major pathophysiology. When this prostate enlarges, as a result of these hormonal changes, decrease in testosterone, and increase in estrogen, it begins to do what? Pressure on the urethra, which is the urinary tube. When it pressures on it, a man or a male begins to have what we call bladder outlet obstruction. And what are the symptoms that are associated with this bladder outlet obstruction? When a man begins to feel frequency in urination, every time, you have the urge to urinate, you are not really out of the ladder. Urgency, frequency, hesitancy. Nocturia means urinating more often in the night. Terminal dribbling, straining while urinating. More so hematuria, which is passage of blood while urinating. These are the major symptoms that are associated with benign prostate hyperplasia, which is more or less a non-cancerous enlargement of the prostate. So today, all men, even though over time this lecture is been taught, over time a lot of lecturers, doctors everywhere, they keep teaching us on the things on how we're going to follow this prostate. I stand here to tell you that we cannot overemphasize these lectures because it's very important for all male. How do you diagnose this non-cancerous prostate enlargement? I want to inform all of us here today that please do not treat prostate problems in the house. Am I communicating? Do not do what? Treat prostate problems in the what? In the house. If you have all these symptoms that I've listed out, frequency, urgency, hesitancy, terminal dribbling, hematuria, anytime you witness these symptoms, always do what? Visit your doctor. We all understand that there are some comorbidities like diabetes, mellitus, and cystitis, other medical conditions that can present this way. But it's very, 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 very paramount that anytime you see or witness these symptoms, please and please visit your doctor. We have urologists. These are consultants that are specialized in treating this problem. So do not treat prostate problems in the house. How do you make this diagnosis? When you visit your doctor, the onus lies on him to do what? To elicit these diagnostic plans. Number one thing he does is he orders for what we call the PSA. This PSA is called prostatic specific antigen. This PSA is the major index that helps you to know whether your prostate is enlarged. Very, very important. So from today henceforth, I urge all men here to continue to check their PSA regularly. If not, 2 times. Okay. So from today henceforth, I urge all men to please have this thing as a routine check, to always check their what? Their PSA. Secondly, that's what we call the DRE. This DRE is called digital rectal examination. It is the onus lies on the doctor to do all these investigations. MRI and urine culture. Those ones, the onus lies on the doctor. But as a male, please, always, I know why I keep emphasizing on this PSA. On your own, you can get attention of a lab scientist, and please, possibly, check do a PSA test for me. The normal range is from 0 to 4 nanogram per mil. So even if you don't have the money to visit hospitals, you can on your own visit most of the accredited lab centers within your vicinity. An order for this PSA. So very, very important. What are the risk factors? Who is at risk of really of falls within the range of or within the limits of having an enlarged prostate? Or what are the risk factors? Like I rightly pointed out, from the age of 50 years and above, when somebody gets to the 50 years, please make it a routine check because you fall within the risk factors. Secondly, alcoholic abuse. People that consume more of alcohol. From today henceforth, let us be properly aware that chronic alcoholic abuse, they stand a risk of developing this non-cancerous prostate enlargement. Race. It's assumed that the black race, we blacks, we are at much risk. Family history. Prostate enlargement runs in some families. Even though medically there is no genetic correlation. What does that mean? If your brother your uncle has this enlargement, there is every tendency that you will have it. So the onus lies on you to keep checking yourself so that you will not be a victim. Obesity, physical inactiveness. People that don't really exercise, sedentary lifestyle, they stay in their house every day, go for a walk, they don't do. In offices, some of you are directors in different companies, captains of industries. It's found out that when you go to your offices, you have secretary, you have people that are working under you. Oh, go and do this, go and do that. Even the suit you wear, you find it difficult for yourself to take it out from you. So from today henceforth, let's really change this sedentary life attitude. Always make sure that at least before the end of every day, you do one or two things to make sure that you exercise your body. Another thing is the consumption of animal proteins. Every time, red meat, red meat, red meat. We have it on good authority that people that consume more red meat, they fall within these risk factors. Complications of prostate enlargement. Like I rightly pointed earlier, if you make a routine check of PSA, all the symptoms I've mentioned out, when you see them, you visit your doctors, you don't run the risk of having complications. So we don't really wish anybody to be ignorant about all these checks so that you don't fall or you don't run the risk of having complications. If these symptoms are not really checkmated and treated on time, the person can run the risk of having what we call acute urinary retention. You will find a man, before you know it, he no longer passes urine. And will be calling everybody around him, please, oh, I don't know what is wrong with me. This acute urinary retention is a very serious medical emergency. How do you go about it? Anytime any male feels that he no longer passes urine, either that before now he's very ignorant about all the symptoms, or he's very adamant or not to take these instructions hook, line, and sinker. When you have such problems, always visit the hospital immediately. Another complication is chronic urinary retention, which is an advanced stage of acute. Third one is STDs, or urinary tract infections. But I don't want to bother ourselves on complications. If we can do regular check of PSA, visit our doctors, check all the symptoms very well, and always run to any lab center to do all some of these things, we can't fall the risk of having complications. Preventions. How do we make sure that we are much safer so that we don't run the risk of falling into this BPH enlargement? We have been advising everybody to eat healthy. Always eat balanced diet. Take vegetable very seriously. Eat your vegetables very seriously. Very, very important. Exercise regularly, like I rightly mentioned before. Always have a family doctor. We keep preaching. Always have a family doctor. Even though we understand that where we come from is not really easy this time to return a physician who is at liberty to really be taking care of most of your medical issues. But we keep advising. Because if these problems are taken care of at the early stage, we can't run the risk of having complications. Treatment. As doctors, we don't recommend drugs in the public. All we advise is people should drink, exercise regularly, like I mentioned on those risk factors. Drinking more water in the night is not really advisable. Because when you drink more water in the night, you will fall the risk of urinating much often in the night. So we don't really encourage that. We have, like I said before, we have medicines that fall under several categories. Those ones that can use to reduce the prostate enlargement, but we don't mention them in the public. Surgical treatment. In surgical treatment, we always talk about prostatectomy, which is removal of the prostate, or transurethral resection. These are two major surgical techniques that can be used to really take care of complicated prostate enlargement. So for now, this lecture is more or less an interactive section. It's not really a lecture we have come to talk from here to thy kingdom come. Always, as a male, visit your doctors regularly. Please, order for this PSA test, prostatic specific antigen. Even if you don't do anything, even if you are constrained financially to return the services of a personal physician, please always order for this investigation. I don't think it's very, very costly. When we do all these things, we wouldn't bother ourselves to know more on complications and treatment plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Kelechi. We appreciate. Please, we will entertain only 5 questions. Please, yes. Like he likely said, this lecture is just an interactive lecture, so we need, okay, you can come up. At least we need 6 personnel. Yes.
Yeah. I'm Odagu. I'm Birodagu Hygienist from Owerri. Please, doctor, thank you for your lecture. I would like to hear more about testosterone you talked about, that as one ages, I can't get it clearly whether the testosterone, is it going higher as you age or coming lower as relates to the chances of having this prostate, which as you grow older from 50 and above, you start having more chances of having prostate. So do we now talk about testosterone going higher or going lower?
Yeah. Thank you very much for the question. You know, when I was elaborating more on the pathogenesis of prostate enlargement, it was raining, and I think some of you were not really hearing what I was saying. As you grow, as your age advances, the level of testosterone does what? Decreases. The estrogen, which is a female hormone, even though it's been produced by the male gonadal cells, does what? Increases. So the decrease of testosterone as you advances in age and increase of estrogen as you advances in age favors prostatic enlargement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doc. My name is Emerson Wakama.
Has that answered your question? Okay, good.
My question goes, I'm from Omwahe.
Okay.
My question goes this way. We've seen some situations where people go for PSA test and their PSA was below what is supposed to be, and they still have some of these symptoms of incontinence or obstructive
Urethra
passage of
compression.
urine.
BOO, yeah?
Yes. That is not number one.
Okay.
Number two, I know there is a treatment by drugs, and the second one by surgery. I know we, in this part of the world, most times we are afraid of surgery. And I want you to let us know, what is the disadvantage of removing the prostate gland by surgery to taking drugs? I'm sure you understand what I said.
Yeah, very correctly.
Yeah, that's my question. Thank you, sir.
Your first question goes this way. You said there are different case scenarios, or there has been several case scenarios where somebody will go for this prostatic specific antigen, which is the major index for checking or for making a diagnosis of prostatic enlargement. Some cases that when you go is low. I want to teach us something now. PSA level can be affected by a lot of conditions. But in making a diagnosis of benign prostate enlargement or benign prostate hyperplasia, which is a non-cancerous, I hope you are listening to me. The person that asked that question, get it very clearly. In diagnosis of benign prostate hyperplasia, which is more or less an increase in the prostatic or proliferation means increase in the prostatic cells, is not only a function of increase in PSA or decrease in PSA. Even if the PSA is decreased, which could be affected by some factors, the doctor will go further to do what we call digital rectal examination. Am I communicating? So the DRE, which he does clinically, serves as a support to do what? To add up to the disparity in PSA test. So you don't only rely on PSA generally in the world to make diagnosis of what? Prostatic benign hyperplasia. Thank you very much. Okay, second question, right? Okay. Are you okay? Okay, surgery. Now, like I said before, we don't really want people to have their cases complicated by not adhering strictly to all these early response mechanisms, like I mentioned before. But if by peradventure that the obstructive symptoms are so severe and the urologist could no longer get the prostate shrinked by all those drugs, all those alpha blockers, all those finasteride and all the rest of them, you know some of those drugs, even though we don't tell anybody to go and buy it on his own. And he orders for what? Prostatectomy. So the advantage or disadvantage of the surgery is at the discretion of the urologist, who happens to know that if I go for prostatectomy or if I go for transurethral resection, which is what they do globally now, this is what I will achieve. So as a layman, you don't really query, even though in the international medical practice today, you are at liberty to ask your physicians or your doctors the procedure you are taking, the advantage and disadvantage, but I'll always leave it in the hands of the urologist. He understands the reasons why he must order for prostatectomy or transurethral resection. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doc. Your teachings, I want to compare what you taught on the issue of my father in 2019 when he went to hospital. My father couldn't defecate. He went to the hospital. The doctor said that it's a prostate cancer. I want to ask, what does defecation do with prostate cancer? Does it have any relationship with a lack of defecation? Because you told us that it's always show urinary problem as a case. Secondly, you say that...
I didn't get the first question, please. I have to come closer. I know it's raining. I can't really. So
I said, in 2019, my father has a problem. We took him to the hospital. The doctor said that he has prostate cancer because he couldn't defecate. I'm asking, does he what's a relationship between lack of defecation with that of prostate cancer?
You're asking about the relationship between the enlargement and the cancer?
Yes. Second question.
Okay. Continue. CA prostate, which is called the cancer of the prostate, doesn't really manifest overnight. Am I communicating? It has a progression. Malignant cancerous cells follows a progression. If your father, ab initio, has been having these signs of frequency, urgency, terminal dribbling, hematuria, hematuria, which is a passage of blood in the urine. These are symptoms that are always tilting towards malignancy of the what, or cancer of the what? Prostate. But then, this diagnosis cannot be made without what we call prostate what? Biopsy. So if at the outset your father has been having all these symptoms, and by peradventure he has been visiting either his GP or the urologist, he will continue to monitor and advise him, don't do this, don't do that. The signs we are really having presently are tilting towards what? Malignancy. So before he finally makes a such diagnosis, he must do what? He must do what we call prostate biopsy and send the specimen or whatever to the what? To the histology lab, where it will be dictated whether it's malignant or not. So diagnosis of CA prostate, even though most times you might not have all the symptoms. Am I communicating? These symptoms might not be there. Hematuria, spinal pains, or generalized body pains, or pains in the lower limbs or vertebral pains. They might not be there. So it is always very, very pertinent to work with your doctor, who is more knowledgeable, to know most of those latent signs or symptoms that ordinarily you wouldn't see on your own. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The second question is, when you are teaching us, you told us that if your brother has prostate cancer, there is every tendency that you yourself may have it. I want to ask if prostate cancer is hereditary. Thank you.
Yeah, it runs most times it runs in families. Thank you.
I'm Ike Wachuku. Please kindly disprove or approve this assertion that as a result of elongated abstinence from sex by men that are above 40, that may result to enlargement of the prostate. Thank you.
Yeah, that has always been a very major controversy. Some school of thought has always believed that people that engage more on, we don't encourage any man to go outside the wife. We are always told one man, one wife. Reasons are not far-fetched. If you, like I said before, some people have said it, some people keep saying that when you abstain from sex, the tendency of you being a victim of benign prostate enlargement. Yes, we really agree with that to an extent, because if you engage yourself on regular sexual activity only with your spouse, only with your legitimate spouse, so the tendency of not really being a victim in the absence of all these other factors I've mentioned. Thank you very much. In the walk, so more questions.
Thank you very much, Doc. I'm Mr. Honourable from Owerri Zone.
Okay, sir.
I want to know, apart from, is there no drugs that can be more effective than going to surgical operation?
Yeah, like I mentioned before, we are licensed practitioners. Am I communicating? No doctor can come publicly to tell you to go and take finasteride or take Proscar. You know, some of them, we know all their classes, alpha blockers and alpha beta reductase. These are the classifications. So we don't encourage anybody, you know, overseas where some of us go to do one or two licensing exams. Most of the drugs, most of the antibiotics or whatever, or any class of drugs that fall under analgesics are not sold over the counter. Some of you travel overseas. So we want to still encourage people here. Any drug that falls outside analgesics, don't really go and buy it on your own. Because you wouldn't really, most of you will be wondering sometimes, when you visit hospitals, that's what we call prescription writing. Those prescription writing are meant for health professionals. They are not meant for what? Laymen. Reasons, if you can read those writings on your own, you can, today I have symptoms of fever or whatever, malaria or enteric fever. Let me go and use that in Dr. Kelechi or whatever, prescribed for me over the years, over the months. So, we don't talk much on those drugs. If these symptoms are with you, please visit your doctor who is at liberty, who is professionally licensed to do what? To give you those specialized drugs. Thank you very much. I think we are okay, right? More questions.
Doc, my second question is, what do you people, medical doctors, say about these local drug sellers that are advertising every day on the radio about most of this sickness that is affecting man nowadays? Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, where we come from, we do respect. Where we come from, there is much poverty, much ignorance in the land. I think one of the organizers of these programs, would have had this at the back of their memory. You know, today you see people talk about, I wouldn't want to spoil people's businesses, but we keep advising. If you understand the adverse effect of most of these herbal drugs you take, my brothers, you wouldn't touch them with a long pole. But currently, there are some of the herbs that are licensed. Am I communicating? All always Google for, there are so many herbs that are licensed that can take care of most of these medical problems. So do not go on the street where you see people trying to promote their business. They even call most of these symptoms much better than, much better than medical practitioners. If you really want to try the other way, go in for what? Licensed herbal drugs, so that you wouldn't really fall prey to people that want to use humans' health for business. Thank you very much.
Doc, good evening. Thank you for the lecture. I'm Ifeanyi from Nobi Zone. My question is, it has been, many people are saying that sitting for a very long time on like a hot object, like the car seat, or like if you're sitting on, you hearing me?
I can't hear you.
I said, many people have said that because you said about the testosterone, and because its presence is mostly in the testis, and naturally the testis condition is in a way that it actually is made to be very, very cold. So many people have said that when you sit for a long time, maybe you drive for a very long time, because as time goes on, the seat gets hot, or you're sitting on maybe on a bike, a motorcycle that is hot. If you sit on a hot object for a very long time, that it actually increases the reduction of the lifespan of testosterone. And maybe because you said that it leads to, when the testosterone begins to go down, it leads to the prostate. So I don't know whether you can actually correct that fact, please.
Thank you very much. Nature has made it in such a way that the scrotum is always found on the outer part of the body. So we keep encouraging everybody to make sure that all male, since it's a male organ, to make sure that he doesn't expose his scrotum to a more or to a higher temperature. If you are a driver here, it's found out that the engine of the vehicle, am I communicating? The engine of most vehicles are always very closer to your scrotum when you sit down. So if you are a driver, even private, most of the commercial drivers or whatever, always make sure that you pad, what do you call it? You put something like either a foam or whatever, to do what? To protect your scrotum. Most of the virality of infertility cases we see today, even though it's not part of this lecture, are caused by increase or overexposure to the scrotum on a high temperature. So, my brother, anything that will make the scrotum to be exposed in a high temperature is not encouraged. Thank you very much.
Let's put a hand of applause for him. Thank you, Dr. Kelechi. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you have seen that the work has everything.
Yeah, so for your information, I'm the medical director of Imo State Oil Mineral Producing Development Commission. That is where I work. I'm the medical director. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. The work has everything, both physical and spiritual. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Dr. Kelechi Mufro. Because the next thing I want to know, table tennis. All the zones, I think all the zones are participating. So the players, please, to move down to the so all the players to move down to the tennis section. I call on Mr. Francis Iheme to direct us on how to go about it. Thank you.
Men of honor. Men of honor. Great. Please